What if one day you woke up and every ocean on Earth, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, Southern, had turned into soda? Not just any soda. We're talking bubbly, sticky, syrupy chaos. Maybe it's cola, maybe orange soda, or diet cherry vanilla root beer with lime. The point is, it's not water anymore, and that's a problem. Like, extinction level bad. Let's start with the obvious. The salt water that covers 70% of the planet is gone. Instead of oceans full of minerals and marine life, we now have vast, undrinkable, sugary pools. And spoiler, things go south fast. But before civilization collapses into syrupy despair, let's answer the most human question first. Could we drink it? Technically, yes, but should we? Absolutely not. The average soda contains around 10 teaspoons of sugar per can. That's fine when you're watching a documentary about the dangers of sugar. But imagine an entire ocean of the stuff. The total volume of Earth's oceans is about 1.3 billion cubic kilometers, or 1.3 billion trillion liters. That's approximately 10 to the 21st power cans of soda. If each has 10 teaspoons of sugar, that's 10 to the power of 22 teaspoons. Congratulations! You've created a planetary scale metabolic catastrophe. Let's say you tried a single cup. It would be warm, flat, acidic, and probably filled with dead marine life. You'd get a sugar rush powerful enough to question your existence, followed by a crash that might end it. But is it still an ocean? Not really. Seawater has a density of about 1.025 grams per cubic centimeter. Soda? Somewhere between 1.04 and 1.1. So ships would float, barely, but sluggishly. Unfortunately, not for long. Sugar plus metal equals rapid corrosion. Within weeks, every vessel would be reduced to a sticky, rusted sculpture. Planes, worse. Many aircraft systems rely on desalinated seawater for cooling and emergency functions. Siphoning cola into those would be unwise. Meanwhile, airports near coasts would be overwhelmed with the stench of caramelized seaweed and decaying ocean life. Now, let's talk climate. Oceans regulate Earth's temperature. They absorb solar radiation and move heat through currents like the Gulf Stream. Soda, on the other hand, absorbs and retains heat differently. It's more prone to microbial growth, and it doesn't circulate like salt water. Within a month, the oceans would begin to ferment. That's right. Warm, sugary liquids are perfect for bacteria and yeast. Earth becomes the largest brewery in the cosmos. Instead of innovation awards, we'd get a planet coated in acidic foam that smells like vinegar and dead shrimp. Marine life, gone. Instantly. Fish can't live in soda. Neither can dolphins. Coral reefs, dissolved like candy. Plankton, the base of the oceanic food web, and a major source of Earth's oxygen, would vanish. And with them, oxygen production would plummet. About half the oxygen you breathe comes from the ocean. Within months, levels would fall enough to cause real breathing problems, especially at higher elevations. Live near the coast, you now have oceanfront property that smells like cola, decay, and regret. Hurricanes? Still here, probably worse. Warmer, carbonated seas would supercharge storms. Imagine a hurricane that rains Mountain Dew, sticky acidic precipitation slamming into buildings at 100 miles per hour. Afterward, your entire town is coated in syrup. Insects might love it, especially ants, possibly wasps. Ants become apex predators. Land animals? Some might enjoy the sugar at first, raccoons, bears, but too much sugar is toxic for most mammals. Even mosquitoes would struggle, which, we admit, is a win. Now let's zoom out. How did this even happen? Because honestly, converting the oceans to soda would require near infinite energy. You'd need to synthesize massive amounts of sugar, flavoring, acids, preservatives, and carbon dioxide. Industrially, even a single mole of glucose is expensive. You made oceans of it. This wasn't a prank, it's a supervillain origin story. Speaking of villains, CO2. The fizz in soda comes from dissolved carbon dioxide. If all this soda went flat, and it would, you'd unleash an astronomical volume of CO2 into the atmosphere. This would turbocharge global warming. Imagine Venus, but stickier, a runaway greenhouse effect that ends us all in a cloud of warm, sugary doom. So, what happens if we replace all the oceans with soda? Nothing good. Marine extinction, atmospheric collapse, global fermentation. Civilization slips beneath waves of carbonated regret. All so someone, somewhere, could say, wouldn't it be awesome if the sea was made of Dr. Pepper? It wouldn't. But it would make one heck of a documentary.